Escape Doodland is a really good case of a title trying to elevate the idea of a runner. I believe this was a Kickstarter game that came out probably about a week or so ago from the time of this video. But while the game may look basic, there is certainly a lot of bite or sharp edges to this one. So the stories we play is a bunch of these little random creatures who, apparently I just die there, who are trying to escape from that big scary monster who's chasing after you. You have various powers that are all essentially fart related. You can do a super jump, you can do a jump forward, or you can basically fart in the guy's face and slow him down. You lose if you either fall off the map, or if the creature catches up and chomps on you. So, the level itself seems to be fairly hard-coded. Various rewards may be moved around, I think, slightly, but your overall path through will remain the same. There are additional challenges, including playing through without any checkpoints, and you just only do a jump there. Uh-oh. Will I make it out? We'll see. But you can see my resources in the upper left. You can also spend in-game currency to get more after each level. The matches are what basically powers up my fart-based powers. But the beans I'm picking up are the game's currency. There's also gold beans that are rewarded for how well you do on each level, and they're kind of like the stars that you collect in other games. There really isn't a lot to talk about Escape Doodland. I do want to point out that the aesthetic looks amazing. The hand-drawn kind of sketch animation reminds you of something we saw in the 90s, and it looks really well, but oh, there I go being chopped. You have several lives, and you can also upgrade, as the game has kind of a pseudo-persistent system. After each level, you'll take your beans, as we've talked about here, with the number of green beans you get, determining what golden beans you have. And you'll take them over to the shop that you'll see in a second, and this is where you'll spend your beans on cosmetics in the form of additional wacky characters you see in the middle, buying more matches to help you on a level, or these passive buffs that you can only attach 3, and you can only choose, I believe, 1 from each category, although I'm not 100% sure on that one, to kind of help you out with the game. Because despite the runner style, can be a bit challenging. But we're going to look at some of the later parts or a horror level in a second, but first, a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. And now a quick shout out to the supporters over on patreon.com/GWBycer. So when it comes to Doodland, again, despite the hard-coded nature of the levels, it is still very challenging to play. Obviously you can't stop your character or slow them down, but it does require some precise knowledge and knowing how to jump and move. Some of the more advanced features of the game involve being able to run up walls of any kind just by holding down the button. I think you'll see that in a second, as well as the double jump that I've been showing off quite a bit. But there isn't too much to talk about with Escape Doodland. Again, the runner-like design is done to the point, I think, of how hard it can actually be, and getting all 3 golden beans is going to require some doing. But if you're not a fan of runners to begin with, I don't know the game does enough things differently that will convince you otherwise. But I love the aesthetic, and I do like how varied the levels are in terms of the platforming, and also just some of the obstacles you run into. So if you're interested in this kind of gameplay, I would say definitely give Escape Doodland a check. It is, again, on the harder side, but I think most runners can be on the simplistic side to begin with. So, with that said, we're going to wrap things up here for this first look, just as things get very kooky right here. But I'd like to thank the developers for giving me a press key to check this one out. If you'd like me to take a look at your game in the future, whether on a video or our Spotlight stream, please don't hesitate to get in touch. But check back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom where we examine the art and science of games. Once again, this has been Escape Doodland, and I will see everybody next time. If you're looking for another book about game design, be sure to check out my first title, 20 Essential Games to Study, out now. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel link down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.